Hello again. Thank you for tuning in today. A while ago, I told you about a project on collaborative learning with visual representations. That study was a beast to analyze, and we just now published results on that study. My PhD student Joel Bayer did a lot of the analysis of that data set. So, the study compared students who worked individually or collaboratively with visual representations, and there were no differences between individual and collaborative work on a knowledge post test. However, we became really interested in how students worked with the visual representations when they were collaborating. When we looked more closely at video data that we had also collected as part of that study, we found that students often turned to the visual representations when they encountered impasses. That inspired us to do an analysis to characterize the different ways in which students interacted with the representations. We found that students used representations for four purposes: for exploration, for juxtaposition, for reference, and for mediation. Let me explain each of these briefly. Exploration was when students manipulated the representation to try out how to solve the problem. Juxtaposition describes how they used multiple representations and compared them against each other. Reference means that they used the representation to illustrate something that they said verbally, and mediation means that they used the representation to communicate something that they did not express verbally. We then were curious about which of these ways of using representations were unique to resolving impasses, as opposed to regular collaborative problem solving. So we defined impasses as cases where student partners disagreed, or one of them voiced confusion, for example by saying, "I don't know," or "I'm confused." Methodologically, we used a data mining procedure that you're welcome to read up on in the associated paper, which I'll post a link to below, to compare sequences of the four characteristics for regular problem solving versus impasses. And we found that impasses were characterized by sequences of using representations repeatedly for reference and mediation. By contrast, regular problem solving did not involve these sequences, so those were unique to impasses. In sum, this analysis sheds some light into how representations are used by students to resolve impasses. So, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more results to come.